Welcome, Maple Syrup people. We are at Origins 2015, and we're here with Boyan Radakovich.
Hello.
And he is the designer behind Gamesmith LLC. I know that's a fancy word,
Very fancy,
term, but
yeah.
that's how we roll.
It's actually its corporate structure. It's impressive.
Yeah, it is. And
how we roll.
You rocking my tax audit as well?
I'm all up in your tax audit.
All up in my grill.
Yes.
Sen doesn't like tax talk.
I
actually.
don't talk about taxes with me. It's funny, my cousin's actually a government auditor. I do not evade anything.
Thankfully, you guys are in Canada.
Yes. The thing that we're going to talk about today...
I just derailed him just instantly. Like,
is
kill that conversation.
Totally about game design, not about my taxes. Totally about game design. And it's... Boyan has a project that is a long time coming, but it is coming out. We just actually watched a Periscope, or did the Periscope, where we got the scoop that Patrick from Crash Games, no longer in Arizona, now in Seattle, where Boyan also is.
What a coincidence.
I know.
Weird.
They're going to finally get the product out of Boyan's brain and into card form of Pirate Den.
Prototype into copies.
Yeah.
So actually, the game is really quite along.
Yeah.
It's just it didn't get into final production phase yet. But we'll talk about that. The game is Pirate Den, if you guys know it. It's on Kickstarter. I funded it last year. It's a pirate-themed bluffing game. Mostly, it's like 15-20 minutes once everyone knows what they're doing, but usually it's like 30 minutes or so.
Sure.
It uses simultaneous play, which is really nice. It's
always good to make a game fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Engaged. Everyone's engaged all the time.
Exactly. And I like to try to edit out as much dead time as I can. So simultaneous play does that. It increases fun efficiency, like fun over time, right? So it's like, if I don't have to wait for someone, then awesome. So I do that. It's awesome, but I did run into some production delays and problems, mostly on funding. I know most people don't think about this, but that top number that you see on Kickstarter is not actually the number that you take.
No, you actually have to make them.
And then you have to make them, and in reality, no one's going to let me publish 700 copies of a game.
No, you got to make thousands.
Right, so the setup cost on even making a game, even making one, is effectively the same as making 2,000.
Sure.
So you can only amortize that cost over a long time if, you're basically printing a lot of copies. So, it's like, oh, awesome.
Not only do you have to make them, you got to move them, you got to hold them.
You got to warehouse them, you got to fulfill, ship, all that stuff.
Yeah, so basically in the process, there's 5 main steps. It's like business development, legal, right? So like getting the game, licensing the game, making the game, getting the company right, doing all that kind of stuff. Design and development, which can take a long time, but time is not important. Just making a good.
It's not under the crunch because you got flexibility there.
Right. Yeah. Then you basically switch to art and production. Art and production, there's a lot of costs here.
Right.
If you're the designer, you can basically put your time in, but unless you're the illustrator and graphic designer and you're doing all that kind of stuff, it takes a lot of money.
Absolutely. I mean, you could spend the whole budget right there.
Absolutely, you can. And that's the thing that people don't understand. Yeah, and so basically, the better art you want, the more expensive it is. So if you've seen Pirate Den, I actually have Disney illustrators doing stuff. It looks awesome.
Amazing.
Really high production value. Yeah. And then the second part of that, so that's part of like the trade dress, creating the logo, the look and feel for the game, all that. Graphic design for the rules and packaging, whatever.
All those illustrators, each step of the process.
Yeah, so it's a long, complicated process. And then you go into like print buying when you're actually trying to talk to the printers, negotiate good terms. You have to approve the paper stock and stuff. You guys have, you understand this process.
But this is helpful stuff for
people
to
hear. A lot of people on Kickstarter don't, right? And so they just look at that top number and they're like, oh yeah, just
boom.
Well, you have what you need. Congrats. But oftentimes the next 2 steps is where you lose all your money, and that's production.
Yeah.
So that's where you actually turn it on, print the thing, and you're making it.
Yeah.
And it's really expensive because you're basically multiplying over the print run number, which is often in thousands, right? And so it's easy to like drop 50 grand on a project just to turn it on and
just
like
to
make
turn
the
the
thing
key
happen.
on and get it pumping.
Right.
Yeah.
Then comes logistics, which is the worst part of this entire chain here.
This is the whole reason why I don't publish anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't deal with the logistics.
Yeah, because So you have to get the games from where it was manufactured, assembled. Let's assume it's in the same place, and then get it to where you're going to distribute it.
Sure.
That takes money and time.
Absolutely. There could be climatizing. There could the shipping if it is somewhere far.
The gas prices change.
Yeah, from the time that you funded to later, gas prices are always
customs.
Going up.
There's delays there.
There's a lot of stuff. So in my spreadsheet, I basically account for each of these tabs, and I have estimations for all of them, right? But the thing that really sucks is at the end of it, you have to then take the thing and ship it directly to the person.
Right.
So Kickstarter is great because it's a direct connection. Right? Creator, fan, boom, awesome. But it takes a lot of infrastructure to make that happen, and that fulfillment part is so expensive. And so I know a lot of these guys on Kickstarter say, oh yeah, free shipping for this, or free international shipping here, or free over there. I'm like, I don't know how you're doing this, except for losing money.
That's totally coming directly out of their pocket. There's nowhere else that could be coming.
Or they're building it into their
or they raised the cost even more.
Right.
To assume for that.
So I do that. The problem is when you actually count it all up, I have a spreadsheet that calculates all this, and it creates like the landed cost per units sold, right? Which is the number I use to figure out if I'm going to make money or not.
Sure.
If that number is negative, no matter how positive no matter how big that number is on Kickstarter, it's a bad deal, right? And so that's what happened to me. And so I went and I tried to find a publisher who's very good at that second stage of this, which is production, logistics. And so I was going with Queen Games, which is a great German publisher.
Very exciting time.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I was super excited about it. The thing is, they are a larger company. They have long production pipelines. So getting into production means like you have to time it exactly right.
Right.
Sure.
They're not a very mobile company when it comes to changing their schedule.
No, and if you join them, they got games scheduled. They already have arrangements with printers. You don't jump the queue.
Right. No,
you're in their plan now.
Yeah, you're basically trying to, I want to get downtown. I'm just going to get on the bus. Okay, cool. Well, the bus isn't empty.
We're going to make some stops.
Yeah, and also it only comes at certain times because that's because of cash flow. And so you're waiting like, I'm going to jump. Oh, not that one. Okay, I'm going to jump on this one.
No.
Whatever.
And that's another thing that a lot of small designers, independent designers, whatever you want to call us, don't really get about Kickstarter. We often hear the buyers or the pledgers or the supporters say, look, why is that company on Kickstarter? They have lots of money, or they made 20 titles, or they should not be on Kickstarter. And to a point, they're correct. And to another point, cash flow is cash flow. And cash flow is God. In this particular industry, if you don't have the cash flow, you can't make your next game. And so that's what a lot of the companies are using Kickstarter for, not only the cash flow, but the marketing, the connection with their fan base. And so it's a win-win situation for everybody, even though this is a quote-unquote big company. So there's a lot of misconceptions, and I'm glad you're here to clear up some of it from an individual creator's viewpoint and why you had to seek outside help. So now,
Patrick. So I was going with Queen. The problem is I funded Pirate Den last year, but the game isn't out yet. So there's a lot of frustration, both on my part, but also on the backers. They're like, "Where's my game? I want my game." Like, yeah, man, I want your game too. But I have to get it out, and so I talked to Queen and I said, "Is it possible for you to get it out this year, guaranteed? Guaranteed, because." If it
You're
goes,
not signing on that line.
You don't want it to go longer and longer. You want it.
I want it out, because I believe in the game. I think it's awesome. But if it goes more than a year, now you really do have a problem. I understand production delays, things happen. You're off a couple weeks, couple months, whatever. But
that's not.
If you're over a year late, now there's a real problem. And so I said, can we make sure it's going to happen? And I just didn't feel quite right. And so Queen's like, I love this game. I really believe in this game. I think it would be great for the German market. It's just because they also have a Spiel des Jahres nominee, they have to focus on that. They were also part of the Asmodee buyout. And so that took up a lot.
Big thing.
Big thing, right? So they're like, you're basically a guy with a game in this chain.
And so trust me, buyouts have affected lots of games not coming to market when they should have come out. So we have a bunch of games that got caught up in the Z-Man Philosophia buyout, and they were delayed by 3 years. So this was before Kickstarter, and there was nobody who knew this was happening. Imagine when they do know.
Every person knows the timeline.
That this should have been out X time and you're adding another year or two to it because of a buyout situation, it's just a recipe for unhappiness, right?
Yeah,
and
most of that stuff.
Being happy.
Yeah, the thing is, most of that is behind the curtain, right? It's between the designers and the publishers and the manufacturers and the salespeople and distributors, and all this is kind of like infrastructure that the players never see, right? They just like, oh, it showed up in my store, I got him, whatever, favorite retailer, oh, awesome, cool. But how did it get there? It's like no one wants to see how sausages are being made, right? They love eating them. They love eating them, but like you don't want to see that
Sometimes
stuff, right?
Is that
part of a Serbian breakfast?
No, that's a Bismarck quote. It's a German quote. But although I do love sausage,
it does kind of apply both ways.
Yeah. Anyways, so now with Kickstarter, the connection's clear, but you also get to see behind the curtain,
right?
And so you get to see all the mess. Unfortunately, licensing agreements still have confidentiality, and like corporations still have to maintain their public image and stuff. So it's a much more intimate connection. However, the process isn't any more intimate or efficient.
No, God,
so like you basically turn on the camera, walked into like the mess, and you're like, oh, so this is where sausages are being made. Right. You know, you could have done it better this way. Sure, if I had that option, I would have.
But it isn't.
Right.
And it can't, and we're too far along in the process for that.
But good news. So Patrick at Crash Games was always on me for the game.
Since day one.
Dude, like what?
Excited for it.
Yeah, I want this game. I'm super bad. Like he was one of my backers, but he was actually trying to get the game from me.
He's like encouraging you, wanting it.
Yeah. And so we talked about the Queen situation, and he said, I can do this.
Cool.
And I have really good connections with the printers. If you want, I'm very aggressive and like very fast with this.
Yeah, Patrick is one of the hardest working people we know in the industry.
Yeah, and the production value on his games, amazing.
Yeah, they're always top notch. Well,
top notch.
I got pay dirt right over there, and it's incredible, all the bits and quality bits. So,
so we had a guy come by the booth yesterday. I was hanging out, and he was looking at the Yardmaster box, and he said that when he dies, he wants to be cremated and put into that box because it will outlast like him and everything else. Because it's
that's the best quote ever.
Like if you're a production geek, like that's serious, right? Yeah. And so not only is he making the game now, which is awesome, but he's making it cheaper than I could have made, and at the premium level. So basically, every backer now.
So that's exciting.
Yeah, so every backer that came at regular is going to get the premium version. So they're going to get their acrylic token, the bag, and everything, and all the cards.
And I think that's kind of worth the wait. I mean, your publisher is there to make your good game better.
Yeah.
We had that talk with several people over the last couple of days. Like, that's what the job of the publisher is for. And that's what perhaps giving them a bigger cut it makes it worth it for us as designers, saying, you know what, I'm fine with my royalties.
Because you're making this even better.
Yeah, because you're doing your job. Not only are the components are going to be better, your distribution channels are going to be better. He's going to have better market penetration. We heard the word target being thrown around.
I didn't say that, but
you didn't say that, but we hope.
But I can say that if you look at the bottom of the packaging, I straight up use Target's suggested branding.
Sure.
So it's like their color scheme, the way they code everything is like it's made to be
it's
in
ready.
Target.
It's ready.
It's made to be in
Target ready
from the beginning. So
that's just how smart this guy is.
Well, the thing is, you don't want to limit a game, right? And a lot of publishers don't understand this, but price, packaging, production value, promotion, that's more important than gameplay.
Yeah.
Well, because then sell, because if it fits and
because you're not going to play it until you go through those steps.
Yes.
Right, and so I know a lot of people, especially in core hobby, are like, "Oh, gameplay is all that matters." But in reality, it's not, because I can take the exact same game, give it better art, and it'll sell more, and people will like it more. You get the exact same game with the same production value and give it to another publisher, and it'll sell better because of their sales channel and promotions and whatever.
Exactly.
So the publisher's job is to take your awesome thing and make it even better, like magnify that signal forward, right? Like
exactly.
If you do it right, it's a good partnership. And so Patrick at Crash Games is definitely helping me out.
Awesome.
And so what that means is Gamesmith is now going to go back to being a design studio, where I basically make games and design and do the kind of art and all that kind of stuff. But I'm out of the production and publishing game. It's like
is that your preferred move?
Yeah, I can't afford this. Like I've lost
a lot.
At the end of this, I'll lose $40,000 after all my successful Kickstarters.
Right.
So, and that all this stuff is coming from my pocket.
Yourself,
so I'm basically funding this stuff. When someone says in Australia, "Oh, I didn't get my game," and I ship it. I'm like, I look at my coffers and there's nothing.
Money.
And I pay another $80 to send it out there because I want to make sure the fan's happy. And it's crazy. Like that's where you lose all your money is on this like publishing, logistics, production side. Unless you're very efficient and you have your stuff together, right?
Keep squeezing every inch of that penny.
And guys who do it right are awesome.
Yeah.
And the thing with Kickstarter is, it's creative destruction, and it's taken this industry, which was already small, but broken it into like smaller pieces. But it's not any more efficient. No. And that's why you see consolidation coming back up.
There is way more collaboration. It's fascinating. It's like a theme going on right now.
We're walking through the halls, the vendor booths, and we're friends with lots of them. And we're saying, hey, how did
you end up publishing this together, and you.
Yeah, it's just more efficient.
Yeah, it really, really is. And there's some old school models of that, like the way Philosophia does it, with how they do their co-branding and their licensing for foreign product. And then there's the really new school way that people like Michael Coe at Gamelin Games is doing it with his, what did he call it, Foundations program, where he's actually taking young publishers who really don't have much experience and walking them through the steps that helped him to be successful. And then there's some stuff that's in the middle.
We were talking with Renegade as well, and partnering with Foxtrot with a game.
And that won them both an award. And it's a really exciting time.
So it can be even just one game. It could be, projects together, helping one another. Yeah. We're seeing all these different models of people finding ways to collaborate and use each other's strengths.
Yeah, and make things better.
Because you had a great game and you needed help on the logistics side.
All the stuff I hate and am very bad at, Patrick's amazing.
And
he loves it. Like he loves negotiating with the printers and like pushing them
and that's who I'd want.
Yeah, he's a little pit bull, man.
Dude, I'm not going to tell you the trade secret on what he did, like with the numbers, but I looked at the number like, that's impossible. No. And he's like, well, I better double check. And then they're like, oh yeah, there was a miscalculation.
It's lower?
It's lower.
Nice.
I'm like, whoa!
That's incredible.
That's crazy, dude. That's so crazy. So the fans are going to be happy. They're going to get the game. Cool. It's going to come out. I know there's a lot of frustration. It's on me too, man. Like I want this game out there. I want to be supporting it.
Yeah.
But we can be patient too. I mean, there's an opportunity, and you're owning it, and I appreciate that, and I know you're taking it personally, listening.
Yeah, dude, it hurts.
But I get that
when people are like, "Where's my game?"
Yeah,
like, man.
But at the same time,
I want that game.
The whole point of Kickstarter was we were saying we believe in this, we want to support you, and we're going to try to be patient and wait for it. So. I mean, that's what we're asking people to do.
I think most people are like that.
And actually, it is the majority that do that.
I think it's actually like 90% from the data I've seen. People come on, they're like, yeah, this sounds awesome. I believe the team. From what I can see in the art and the design and the gameplay videos, that this is good. Yeah. I'll back it. Yeah. And when it shows up, awesome.
Yeah.
That's the vast majority
of people. That is the
majority.
That's the way I think the model
should be.
But it isn't all the time.
Yeah, the problem is that you guys have probably talked about this before, but especially in games, it's moved from patronage, which is, hey, you're an artist, you have a cool idea.
Now it's entitlements.
It's entitlement. It's pre-order on a product that's not out yet.
Yeah,
which is weird.
Yeah, it's like vaporware.
Yeah, so it's like I get that people are nervous in that model, but that's not what Kickstarter is. It's not Amazon. I don't like insert cash and then a game
it's just not a really slow cash register.
Yeah, your Prime membership does not get you anything with us.
Yeah, so that's the problem, and I think most people understand it, and I honestly feel like the larger game publishers that we're talking about, like, why are they here? They're actually feeding into that expectation because they are using it as pre-orders.
And they can get it out.
Right.
They know,
And their production lines are strong.
Right. They have a marketing team to do the videos and to manage the community. Like they have like production guys like already set up. Like they've done all this stuff, and so they would do the game without Kickstarter. And so when they show up and they say, "Oh, I need to do Kickstarter," sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't.
Sometimes they don't.
They would just do the game anyways.
For sure.
And then it shows up just like a regular channel, and it's made just like a regular game because it is just a regular game.
And it might have taken a little longer to do, but still. So
But that's cool. That's actually the cool thing about Kickstarter is that me, by myself, am competing with
you're the
large...
same thing. Like you get to put up a page and then like
exactly.
super...
I'm competing on the same footing as larger companies with like...
And someone went through and was like looking at games and picked yours.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
that's like a pretty awesome
Yeah, it's cool, right?
I like Pikachu.
You chose me.
Yeah, you chose you.
Is that like for Bebo and no one else? Or
maybe that was for Brittany. I don't know. Is there anything else that you're working on currently, game-wise?
Yeah, actually. So I have a game. I have a word game that's with Calliope Games now.
Nice.
Cool.
It's actually. If you're good at Sudoku, kind of spatial awareness games, you'll do well at that. If you're good at word generation, you'll do good at it. If you're at both, you're amazing. The game's made for you.
I'm gonna rock this game.
I was just gonna say, are you just having Sun?
Yeah. So you should go to the Calliope booth. They actually have the prototype of it.
Oh, they do already.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So they have that. I have a game with Lone Shark Games, which is Paul Peterson and I designed.
Yep.
It's an awesome simultaneous play. Also, the word game simultaneous play too. Just by the way.
Yeah, really big on the simultaneous play.
Yeah, I have a game.
You found your thing.
Yeah. I have a game with Catalyst for the Viking license. It's a simultaneous play.
Was that the one that we saw like actually on the cover?
Yes.
Tile lane?
Yes, but they actually have a license for several games.
Oh, good.
So mine is the middle game. So the one they're promoting now
is
finished. Yeah, it's Jeremy Holcomb's game, which he won the Mensa Award for. And then mine's second.
Okay.
I didn't realize. Okay. I'm connecting the dots.
Yeah.
Good.
So I have one there. And then I have one with Lone Shark Games, which is coming out at the end of the year. And it's a simultaneous play bluffing game. No, it is actually a simultaneous play game. But it's a bidding technology tree game.
Neat.
Yeah, and so you basically get to advance your epic heroes in a far, far future land. It's like a sci-fi world in the Numenera license.
Oh, okay.
So by Monty Cook. Yeah, it's the gameplay is actually really quite strong. Paul and I have been working on it. We have this like telepathy. It's really great.
Neat.
I think I'm very strong in design, like the initial spark. And Paul is amazing at development. And so when we come together,
nice.
It's like
That's cool to find a good collaboration partner.
Yeah, we have a very good chemistry. And honestly, when we made that game, just on the first go, like when we made the prototype, it was like, this is a game.
Yeah.
Like on the first pass on like the crappy Sharpie on cards, so like this is playable and this is good and strong, and then we took it from there and we just like
make it better, iterate, make it better,
stronger, and now it's much more streamlined and it's very good. And with the Numenera art on it, it's so beautiful.
That art is incredible.
Yeah, so I have that prototype if you want to check it out. That one is a deeper strategy game. It takes about 45 minutes to 60 minutes to play. I tend to like games in that range, like 30 to 45, 45 to 60.
Yep.
I think those are ideal because it's much easier to get people to come in and play.
Sure. And then they feel like they aren't trapped there for a long time.
Exactly.
So what is your background in terms of education?
I have a neuroscience background.
Do you really?
Yeah. So
what?
I came into game design on, I guess, not the direct path, but
not exactly
cognitive neuroscience. Yeah. So decision making, behavior, categorization, all that stuff is really important. I actually had a little AI that I used to work in social situations, but that is cool. It's awesome. I love data. So like my spreadsheets are like sick. Like I'm in there. Like, but it's not as rewarding as game design because I think back in the day they would have said, and this is what they told me, like you should be an architect. You're good at art and you're good at math, and like you should put them together. Now it's like obviously you're a game designer, right? But back then we didn't have that, and so I went to school. I basically have a biology background, and then went to masters for cognitive psychology, and from there went directly to game design because there's.
Do you know what your personality type is on Myers-Briggs?
I am introverted, although I'm actually equally extroverted and introverted because in this format you have to be very forward.
You have to.
But in general, my personality is introverted. I think it calls it feeling instead of thinking. So like I actually make a lot of my deeper emotional attachments based on how I feel instead of logical.
Yep.
I'm judgmental. I actually think it's a good attribute. It means I have good taste and I can judge whether something's good or not.
Judgment.
Yeah, you kind of are.
So I'm INGIF. I'm like a rare.
You're sort of one off me. So I'm INTJ. So.
Yeah, so we're actually very similar.
Very similar.
Yeah, very
and
similar.
When you said architect, it's like because that's my archetype is the architect.
Yeah.
And I thought that's very similar to me. I have a background in I'm a developmental psychology professor.
Oh, so there you go.
Yeah. So hey, you're like me.
Yep.
Yeah, we're actually very similar.
There you go. So we can never work together, except maybe on Inspector Gadget.
We gotta do it, dude. Like seriously.
I will contact my guy.
I gotta watch that show again. Well, when I was a kid, I loved it. Like,
Penny and Brain and
but guys, don't go back and watch your childhood cartoons.
No, that breaks.
Or the movie that was made off of it.
And I'm gonna talk about Inspector Gadget because I haven't seen it, but like, go
in
back
general,
and watch.
It's it was better in my memory.
Yeah, people complain like, "Oh, you ruined my childhood." No, dude, go back and watch it. It was terrible.
Pretty bad originally.
Yeah.
So my kids, Monkey 1 and Monkey 2, are watching Dragon Ball.
Terrible.
And
so bad.
It's so bad. But
I loved it, but it's so bad.
There are like 20-minute periods. Nothing.
Previously on Kamen. Eventually we're gonna fight, but first,
but first I
have
to power up.
Nothing.
Yeah.
2 episodes later, still nothing. Yeah.
So what else? What else can we expect from you? So you're going more into game design.
Yep.
Not at all doing anything in terms of publishing yourself.
I'm pulling back from publishing. It's just I thought I could do it because I had a lot of good connections, and I thought the efficiency is like, connect designer, artist, sales, boom, direct sales, done. But it's actually not a better system. It is more efficient, but it's actually far less profitable. When you actually count real costs, everyone's profitable. You don't count labor.
Right.
So most people on Kickstarter don't pay themselves.
No. Right.
They don't actually. There's a lot of hidden costs, a lot of shadow economy.
It's a lot of work and hours that you put in, and you're not getting compensated.
Yeah, and so people are like, "Oh, it's profitable." Like, sure, it's profitable if you're not counting all the numbers.
Yeah.
Right. But so design's still a passion. I love it. Paul and I have another game that's coming out after that, and
there you go.
Yeah, it's
great.
The thing is, like, when you're really busy, those ideas kind of like well up.
Yeah.
And then when you have time to actually when you're finished with production with my other job, then I'm like, I gotta crank out a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like this kind of ebb and flow,
Sure.
and it's good because then also you're playtesting several things at once, and you can skip.
And things seem fresh all the time as opposed to grinding away on one project.
Yeah, exactly. So there'll be a bunch of stuff coming out.
Looking forward to it.
And then in the next year, I have a couple other projects that are pretty big that haven't been announced yet, but I'm on that as well. So you should be seeing my name around.
Yeah, well,
keep an eye.
You see your name around all the time anyway. So,
yeah.
We want you to give our audience one piece of advice. Other than don't Kickstarter. Something else.
Especially like designer focus.
Design focus.
Design focus. It's fun efficiency. Absolutely.
I love that term.
Yeah. So to define it, basically, fun is a mixture of excitement and tension.
Okay.
Most people think fun is excitement. It's not. It's actually you have to add tension, the thing that you don't want.
Yeah.
And that's what makes fun.
Right.
And so you want to have a balance. And depending on the demographic it's exactly
totally
it. Yeah. So Jesse talks about it being skill and skill and excitement or boredom. Right, but the thing is, in reality, you get bored of something if you're too good at it, or if there's not enough tension.
Correct.
Right.
So in reality, it's sort of the flow state is this constant mix of, oh yes, oh no, I don't want that, yes, oh, like that, right? Mm-hmm. And so you want to get it to the right place, and then that is hard, right? Like excitement's hard. Excitement's hard. The thing you can focus on is tension.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So increase tension, you can control that, and then lower time.
Yep.
Right.
So make the game shorter.
Right.
So it's like if the game can play so it's a 60-minute game, can you make it 45 minutes?
Right.
Oh, I don't know. It's like, all right, well, try it.
Yeah.
It's 8 rounds, try it 6 rounds.
Yeah.
Is that better? it doesn't feel right. All right, well, 7.
Then try it.
Yeah.
And if it's better at 7, then you cut it.
Yeah.
Right. So like always think about your players have so many options.
So,
don't even assume that they care about your game. You're gonna sit down, they're gonna play it and be like, whatevs, and leave. They might have their own variants. They might change stuff.
Sure.
That happens.
Yeah.
Right.
Let it happen.
Let it happen. So the best thing you can do is just like increase tension, decrease the time, make it as fun as possible, and then put it out there and like partner with someone who's awesome.
Yep.
And second, pro bono.
That's
Pro
tip too.
Do not skimp on art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's essential.
Oh man, I got this cover. Look at this for $75. Good job. You just killed your game.
Yep.
Oh, I have a friend who's gonna do line art for me as a favor. No.
No. You need that cover.
Number one thing, art.
Optics, right?
Yeah, and so that's important if you're a studio. If you're a designer, you just have to trust that someone else is
You're
gonna,
hoping the people that are the publisher is
and don't be too attached to the theme.
No.
Right? If the publisher says, "Oh, this is awesome," but it really would be better as donuts.
Right.
Then great. Let it be donuts.
You just want a strong sensibility.
Yeah.
Like a publisher that knows how to make something look good.
Right.
Yes.
Because it might be that they just released a zombie game.
Yeah.
Or that they have a pirate game and they don't want to compete in it. Or it's like, oh, well, next year I have a movie license for this thing. Can I convert it to this? And like, oh yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Go in that process, right? And if you're just focused on the design, do the best you can to make it thematic and appropriate for the demographic. But some of that stuff you just have to let go. Like, hey, you ship it to them and it's done. Do the best you can, ship it, and then we all hope that it kicks ass and makes everyone money.
Well, really good to talk to you finally in person.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, like you guys are online. We're always like chatting online and stuff, but like it's the first time I've been on the show. So
and I'm looking very forward to Pirate Den, and I hope everybody else there that backed it knows that it's unintentional. And it's coming, and it'll be awesome when it gets there. Things happen for a reason, and this is going to be a great game when it comes out.
And now, I mean, just keep your eye on Crash, and you'll see it coming there.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.